Welcome. Okay, thank you. Yeah, welcome. My name is Brandon Wells, and I'm the Graduate in Life Sciences Education Officer in the Department of Laboratory Medicine and Pathobiology. With me today will be Dr. Avrum Gotlieb, who will present our professional master's program in laboratory medicine, and I will present our research program. So I will first present this part, and then I'll hand it over to Dr. Gotlieb. He's not currently on the call, but if he doesn't join, I can present that part as well. I'm very familiar with the program. So first, as a department, like what do we do? So we stand at the interface between basic translational and clinical research. So our investigators study the molecular mechanisms of disease. And these diseases include cancer, infectious diseases, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, neurobiology, metabolic diseases, and genetics. We're located across the city of Toronto at various hospital sites, such as Sick Kids, UHN, St. Mike's, Sinai, Sunnybrook, Public Health Ontario, CAMH, Ted Rogers, and of course all across U of T campuses. We're primarily located in the medical science building as well as the Mars building, but we also have some faculty who are based out of U of T Scarborough. And we have 400 faculty members in our department. We're rather large, so there's lots of opportunities to find different faculty members studying areas of research that align with your own. So in our department, in terms of research programs, we have the Masters of Science program, which is usually 2 years in duration, the Doctor of Philosophy program, which is 4 to 5 years on average in duration, as well as an MD PhD program where those pursuing an MD degree can pursue a PhD degree concurrently. So to get into our program, we require a minimum A- average in the final 2 years of undergraduate studies for our MSc program, and for our PhD program, the direct entry requirements. So that's if you go from an undergraduate degree straight into a doctoral program, we require an A average in the 3rd and 4th years. But if you were to do a regular PhD entry, which would be applying to the program after already completing an MSc degree or equivalent, we would require an A- minimum average. In our department, we have so all of our students who are in research programs, their programs are fully funded. So students are given a base stipend calculation to cover their living expenses as well as tuition. So living expense calculation for MSc in this past year, you can see below, as well as for PhD. And these numbers align with other departments within the Faculty of Medicine. So pretty much all departments of the Faculty of Medicine have similar funding for research programs. We have a lot of awards that our students apply to and are very competitive for, that are at the university level, the provincial level, as well as the federal level. Examples of these awards can be found on this page. Our students are generally pretty competitive, and we always receive rather large quotas for each awards. So we do take great pride in our representation through these various awards.
Just to let you know, Avrum showed up.
Okay, that's fantastic. So I'll finish this part, then I can hand it over to him. So our program requirements. So recently we underwent a major program modifications where we greatly reduced our course requirements in our program, and the purpose was to allow students to focus more on research. So on the screen, you can see the requirements for both the master's and doctoral research degrees, which include seminar series, which student takes every year, as well as a fundamental research practice course in the MSc program. PhD students are required to complete both the seminars as well as the research practice unless they hold an MSc. In addition, they're required to take 0.5 FCE in electives. So yeah, it seems rather low, but you can certainly take more courses as extra if you would like. However, we wanted to limit our course requirement again to just allow students to focus more on research. One aspect that I think is pretty great of our department is we offer a lot of mentorship programs through all of our degree programs. So the first one I'd like to highlight is the peer-to-peer graduate student mentorship program. So this program we developed over the past year and change with CLAMPS, which is our student group in our department. The peer-to-peer program allows like first year students to be matched up with upper year students as in a mentorship relationship. So it just kind of helps first year students acclimate themselves to our department more, as well as to the University of Toronto in general. In addition to this, we have an alumni student mentorship program where current students, mostly upper year students, are paired with alumni, and they can help them with the whole process of transitioning from graduate studies onto what's next in their career. So given these two programs, every graduate student has an opportunity to serve as both a mentor and a mentee within our department. And these programs are open to students in our research degrees, as well as our professional Masters of Health Science program, which Dr. Gotlieb will cover shortly. So to apply for a program, we need you to apply through the SGS application portal, and the deadline is June 1st, 2022. However, I would recommend applying much earlier than that, because once students are admitted to their program, conditionally, they're required to find a supervisor. So the earlier you apply, the greater chance you will have to find a supervisor in our department. So I'd also like to highlight that we don't only have research opportunities available at the graduate level, but you can also start looking at conducting research in our department as an undergraduate student. So I'd like to talk briefly about the LMP Share program, which stands for Summer Undergraduate Research Experience Program. And this will kind of give you an opportunity to conduct research with LMP faculty as an undergraduate student. To be eligible for this program, you need at least a B+ average in your undergraduate program. You have to secure an LMP supervisor before applying, and then submit an online application form. So we'd recommend you apply. The date's not set yet, but it'll be in March 2022. If you'd like to be considered for various awards that undergraduate students receive in this program. You can still apply afterwards, but I would just recommend applying ahead of time just so you can leave yourself eligible for these awards. So our expectation is we require students to work in a lab for a minimum of 12 weeks full-time. You have to attend an orientation session, which will hold in May 2022. And also you have to be able to participate in the Share Program Research Day, which will be in the middle of August 2022. The Research Day is really important because it allows you to kind of present the research that you conducted over the summer program. And this is great experience for students, as this is something you'll do frequently as a researcher throughout your entire career. So it's great to just get experience doing this as an undergraduate. In terms of funding, so all of our students receive a minimum funding of just under $5,000 by your supervisor. But again, I mentioned before, if you apply early enough, you'll be eligible for various awards, which could also top up the funding you receive. Yeah, so the program's not just about research, but there's also like great professional development opportunities available as well. So even if you're not entirely set on doing research as a graduate program, I would recommend checking out the Share program and just kind of, you can dip your toes in it and see if you like research, but even if you don't end up liking it, you still have a lot of opportunity to develop yourself professionally. As you can see, there's various things listed on this slide that speaks to that. In addition, so this program, we also offers mentorship. So as a Share program student, you'd have the opportunity to be paired with groups of other students, and you'd be mentored by a member of CLAMPS, which again is our graduate student club. So they are graduate students who are very active in the LMP community, and they can serve as mentors to you to help kind of guide you through the Share program, but also to give you an idea on how to apply for graduate schools and learn the tips and tricks that allow them to successfully join a graduate program. So I think that's a very great opportunity for you to take advantage of as an undergraduate student, especially those who don't have mentors outside of school. It's a nice kind of way to gain that experience. So to apply for this program, you have to first find a supervisor. It has to be an LMP faculty member. They can be either primary or cross-appointed. We have a faculty directory on our website, so you can go on that directory and search by areas of research and find faculty members that their research interests align with your own. So to email potential supervisors, we recommend you draft a cover letter and send your CV as well as transcripts. In the email, you can explain your skills and how they might benefit your potential supervisor. it's important to like craft these messages directly towards the person you're emailing. So for example, you can read some of the supervisor's most recent publications and just kind of comment on how that's interested you and how, yeah, just sparked your interest in their area of research. It's good to kind of customize these letters instead of just copy and pasting the same letter. Because if you copy and paste the same letter and send it to various faculty members, I can almost guarantee you they won't read it. And I'm sure many faculty members in my department as well as across the university can attest to that. So the second step is to actually apply for the program. So once you secure a supervisor, there's just an online form you have to fill out. But just make sure you do this because this is kind of how you officially apply to the program. So you have to do this in order to join. And all of this is available kind of on our website. There's a clear undergraduate summer research section in the undergraduate section of our site. And lastly, I'd just like to mention our department is committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We have a WIDE committee, which stands for Wellness, Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity, that is comprised of various faculty members, staff, and students throughout our department. Everyone in LMP is welcome to join, and if you do join our department, we would be happy to have you on the committee. Both myself and Dr. Gotlieb are also on this committee as well. So that kind of just speaks to how we value equity as a department. And lastly, if you have questions about research, please contact myself or Ian Marquez, who is a graduate administrator. The contact emails is lmp.grad@utoronto.ca. Or for undergraduate, like for example, the Share program, you can contact Luella Dacuna, who's the undergraduate program admin, or Dr. Jeff Lee, who is an associate professor as well as one of the undergraduate co-coordinators. He is heavily involved in the Share program. So now I would like to pass the torch, so to say, off to Dr. Avrum Gotlieb, who will now present our Master of Health Science and Laboratory Medicine program.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for those of you who are listening. This is our newest program, and we're in the second year of the program. And what I'd like to do is to take you through this. So it's the Masters of Health Sciences in Laboratory Medicine. It's obviously in LMP, and we have a very close association with the Department of Gynecology and Obstetrics in the Temerty Faculty of Medicine to put this program on. I personally am a professor in the Department of Laboratory Medicine and Pathobiology. I'm the program director. I am a cardiovascular anatomical pathologist, and have really the honor of initiating this particular program. Next, please. So the first question is, why Master of Health Sciences in Laboratory Medicine? This is something that really people don't look at as a first blush. It's not something that's well understood or publicized in the community, and certainly as an undergraduate student. However, it is a true career, and we'll go through and explain exactly what this is all about. So it's a highly respected career that provides people in need, that is in the community, with essential health care. So you're part of the healthcare team. There's great satisfaction for those who participate in being an important part of either the pathology or the clinical embryology team. And you'll see this more clearly in a moment. The faculty teachers are really highly skilled clinical, educational, and research laboratory physicians, pathologist assistants, and clinical embryologists. So you get the best of three worlds. And what we're looking at here is two fields in this particular Masters of Health Sciences. Just get rid of this. There is, as you already heard from Brandon, extensive career mentorship, a very important part of our department. And we're also very involved in networking with clinical embryologists and with pathologist assistants who are located in hospitals, clinics, in universities, and in industry. So you really get a really good exposure to these particular fields by people who are well-versed in the field. Next, please. So what are these two professional careers? Pathologist assistants contribute to the diagnostic services in anatomical pathology through application of knowledge of tissue and laboratory analysis of specimens. So basically, when tissue or other fluid specimens are retrieved from patients for diagnostic purposes, the pathologist assistant examines them, decides on what to go further with the examination, and chooses what parts of the tissue to cut up and to make into slides for the diagnostic pathologist to be able to look at. So a very important part of the first stages of laboratory diagnostic services. Pathologist assistants are also working on the autopsy service, doing autopsies, and in the forensic pathology services, doing forensic pathology, autopsies, and diagnostic procedures. So a very important and very satisfying position to be within the healthcare system. The clinical embryologist is different. They contribute to clinical management via application of assisted reproductive technology in clinical embryology laboratories. So they work in labs and are involved with the whole general area of infertility, and handle the eggs and sperm and making sure that everything is done in an appropriate fashion, so that during the fertility procedures, which are carried out by physicians, there is a good success. So again, a very critical piece in the sequence of clinical embryology. Next, please. So the objectives of the program: to graduate, to have graduates understand the scientific basis and the research that provide the foundation for the professional practice of PA and CE. To have graduates achieve academic and applied skills acquired to work effectively in the discipline. So you're learning both the academic work, but also a lot of opportunity to learn the practical skills. To have graduates gain the ability to be excellent problem solvers, critical scholars, innovators, leaders, and to become moral and ethical practitioners in both these fields. To provide the graduates with tools to be critical self-learners and embrace the changes in the fields as they occur as we move to precision medicine and patient-centered healthcare. So medicine is rapidly evolving, and we'll be, through this program, giving you the tools to evolve in those particular two fields of pathologist assistant or clinical embryologist. And we also, as you already heard from Brandon, have a very active student experience program dedicated to making your time in LMP a fun and productive experience. Next, please. Just very briefly, the courses. There's a set of core courses which both the CE and PA students take, and you can see they're heavily basic science, And you have cell molecular biology, biomedical research methods, clinical laboratory management, ethics, biostats, and then a research project which extends over a year, which is much less than what would get in a doctoral program, but gives you a good feel for how to conduct research. Next, please. And then there is the clinical embryology courses. These are all half courses, and you can see you have reproductive physiology, human embryology, and then genetics, and then ART, and topics dealing with issues and problems in infertility. We also have created on the 6th floor of the Medical Sciences Building a simulation laboratory where you learn firsthand skills that are needed to be a clinical embryology practitioner. And you also go in and have an opportunity to be in the working labs to see how that works as well. Next, please. For the pathologist assistant, you can see you learn pathology, both the basic pathobiology and organ related. There's a lot of anatomy, including an advanced anatomy dissection course, and you learn biobanking. And, excuse me, you also spend a lot of time in the hospital laboratories doing surgical pathology, autopsy pathology. You're up at the coroner's service to do forensic pathology. So a lot of hands-on, one-to-one teaching from pathologist assistants and from pathologists themselves. So a really well designed training program that gives you a tremendous amount of experience. Next. There's also some special courses that you might have to take if you've had some of the previous anatomy courses. Next, please. So I want to thank you for your interest in the program, and to let you know that, again, I'm available through my email for any further questions, and Brandon, who you've met already, is available to help you as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you. So now, yeah, I see some students have asked questions in the Q&A section, but we'd just like to kind of open it up now if anyone wants to ask anything else. Avrum, did you want to confirm like the application deadline, the students now, or?
Yeah, go ahead. Why don't you do that?
Yeah, so it's March 22nd, correct? I believe that was the late. Yeah, okay, yeah. So it's March 22nd, 2022. It's a little early compared to our research program, but there is we have to go through a vetting process for all of our applicants. It is quite a small program where you only have we accept 5 PAs and 5 CE students each year. So we do unfortunately need extra time just to kind of go through each of your resumes and profiles and transcripts, etc. Let's see. No, so for the Share program, it's intended for undergraduate students. You can complete it after your 4th year, but like you'd still officially wouldn't have been graduated yet. It'd be like kind of the year in between 4th year and if you were to start a graduate program as well. So it wouldn't be after like you officially graduate. Well, I should rephrase that. Yes, sorry, you can. Because if you graduate in, just say for example, you graduated in June 2022, you could do a Share program that summer. You would have to start it again in May. So you'd still kind of technically be a student once you've started it. But you can continue it throughout the summer.
I think someone asked about admissions. Is that Do you have?
Yeah. So the master's, that's correct. And for the research masters, so for the MSc program, you could apply in June and start in September. We would recommend again applying well before June, because so the process is once a student applies, and then if they're accepted into the program, we would first conditionally accept you and then give you an opportunity to secure a supervisor. So not all students who are conditionally accepted, unfortunately, find a supervisor. Some don't. So we'd recommend you apply earlier rather than later. So if admissible, you could be accepted earlier rather than later, and then have a greater opportunity to find a supervisor. It's open now.
Yeah, I just want to repeat what you said. Our MHSC program is a small program, so we accept 5 students for PA and 5 for CE, and it's very competitive because we get a lot of applications. So clearly, when you're applying, just think carefully of your letter that you sent to us. And sometimes students will ask, how should I prepare to look at these disciplines? So it's very important that you get as much prior knowledge about what a CE does and what a PA does, because that's something we expect students who are applying to the course to have that information. Before COVID, it was easy because you could actually do an observership of a half day, let's say, in a CE or PA lab and get some good feel. But still, we're trying to arrange other opportunities, and you can contact Brandon and he could direct you to some folks who can give you more information about these particular careers. Because as I mentioned, it's not something that everybody is knowledgeable about.
Yes, exactly. So I just sent 2 links in the chat. One is for the research program that kind of outlines the admission requirements. And the second one is a link to our Masters of Health Science and Laboratory Medicine program. It contains additional information about the program, but just keep in mind we're actively working on updating our website, so there will be a lot of additional content coming out within the next few months. We have a communications officer who is actually working on profiling our PA students in their rotations, so you can kind of get an idea on how, like what a rotation would look like and how the practical component of our program looks like. And she is also going to profile our clinical embryology students in the simulation lab. So you can kind of help give you an idea on what the practical component of the program looks like. Because I feel like most people who apply for professional masters are usually concerned with the practical experience they will get. And this will kind of help you get a better understanding of that.
Brandon, could you just mention that we have an information meeting?
Oh, that is a good point. So yes, we do have an information session on November 16th at 5 p.m. I'm going to find a link now to that session, and then you can apply for it. Just give me 1 second.
And at that session, you'll hear from PAs and from CEs who are practicing. We'll have set up in small chat rooms so you could get more information about these particular disciplines and what the job prospects are, etc. When you graduate, which incidentally are very good.
Yeah, so with that, the link I sent previously about the MHSC program, if you click that link, you can join our mailing list. So it's important if you're interested in our program that you do join our mailing list, because then we'll send you pertinent information as it becomes available, including information about this info session. So just sign up for the list and then we will send you an invite to the session through the mailing list. So to answer, yeah, I'll just type in answers in the chat. So Avrum, one student asked for the PA stream. Are you also researching diseases depending on your supervisor as well as coursework?
Yes, so the capstone project is a full year. You spend a total of about 180 hours, but it's spread over a full year. And you have an opportunity to do a research project. And the project will take on the interest of a particular supervisor. So we present you with a variety of supervisors. You don't have to necessarily go out and find one. It's people who are in the field, and then you have an opportunity to do some research. Obviously, you don't have enough time to do a whole wet bench research project, but you can help someone out, or you can do, a lot of our students are now doing more projects that require a little less time in the wet lab, but more in exploring a particular disease, going through various modalities, looking at, in the PA program, looking at lots of slides and coming up with interesting observations. Our hope is that on occasion, a student may have enough information to have at least an outline for a publication. So yes, and we also teach, we have a course on how to do research, which is a very good course. It brings in all kinds of people who are doing research to give you information and tips on how to move forward.
Yeah, thank you. That's fantastic. But yeah, it's a really state-of-the-art program, so we hope a lot of you are interested in it. It was just developed. We just launched it in September 2020, so all the content is like brand new. It's up to date, contemporary. So we do think it's a great experience for those who are just exiting their undergraduate program now.
Okay. Is that everything?
I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Brandon and Dr. Gotlieb.
See you
Thank
guys.
you.
Have a nice day. Thank you so much for hosting it. We really appreciate this opportunity to promote our programs.
Oh, thank you for coming.